everyone. Rosie here, your life coach, queer anthropologist, and dog trainer. I hope everyone is doing well out there, and I hope that my lighting is okay because we are currently having a power outage here in Portland. I think it's due to some really remarkable wind that I've been enjoying watching. So, today I wanted to talk a little bit about inner critic. This is obviously something that is referenced quite a bit, but I like to talk about it in a bit of a simplified way because I think that we can sometimes think about it with a complexity that makes it hard for us to really confront it and do something about it and start a practice of self-compassion that helps us kind of open up into having more faith in ourselves. So we all have an inner critic. It's that little voice in our heads that never misses an opportunity to say that we're not as good as other people, how we might fail, how our plans are unrealistic, generally how we're not measuring up, or all of the things that could go wrong. And our inner critics, they use our comparisons of ourselves with others. They use unfulfilled hopes that we've had. And they certainly also use our anxieties for the future as fodder for this kind of breaking down. However, our inner critics are not just mean-spirited parts of our brains. We engage in these thought processes as a way of protecting ourselves from failure, from disappointment, from embarrassment. We tell ourselves, or our brain says, we have to constantly remember all of the things that could go wrong, or else, if we don't engage in this, we're going to be caught unawares when things do go wrong, and it's going to be even worse for us. This is what our inner critic is telling us, right? But in reality, it's that kind of thinking, that regularly obliging the negative voice, that shuts us off from avenues of thought that might lead us to creative problem solving. So the simpler way of saying that is when we are constantly in that river of negative thoughts, then we miss all of the possibilities for ways that we could actually succeed because we're so caught up. So take this theoretical situation. I am not a career coach. I work with chronic illness, new diagnosis, and creative arts. But this is a very, very common issue that coaches run up against. So say you're starting a new business and you need to market yourself. You need to promote yourself. Your inner critic's going to jump in right here. You're not going to succeed in this because you're not good at promoting yourself. The reality is you've never had to promote yourself. So you lack some confidence in this area, but there's actually no indication that you're bad at it. So here the inner critic presents this distorted view of the situation, and it actually directly damages your ability to succeed because it's presenting inexperience as inability. So that distortion takes you haven't done much self-promotion to you're not capable of self-promoting. The reality is, if you can engage your inner critic in a healthy way, you can see that you may need to access some resources to help yourself succeed, help you learn how to successfully market your business and promote yourself. But there is, in fact, no indication that you can't do that successfully. So looking at how the inner critic can really sabotage, like very directly sabotage our ability to succeed, how do we go about reducing our dependence on it? And how can we operate more from a place of faith in ourselves and less from a place of fear? The tool I use in this situation is personification. So, treating our inner critic as if it is a living, thinking entity. Because in the end, it is. It's a living, thinking part of our own brain. And when we do this, we can then speak directly to it. We can say, listen, I recognize that you are trying to protect me from all of the possible outcomes of this scenario that would hurt me. However, after having looked at all of those with a totally open mind and clear eyes, I think I can succeed. So I'm going to ask you to take a step back, sit on the sidelines, and I'm going to go forward operating from a place of faith in myself. And you notice here that I'm speaking with compassion, because this is a part of my own brain. And in the end, even if it is very misguided, its intention is to try to keep me safe. But I'm also being pretty firm. Sidelines, sit there, watch. Because we're used to succumbing to this inner critic. And without that kind of firmness, we're not going to be able to really step outside of that river of negative possibilities and see where our own creative problem solving can come in. And so finally, I think the really big thing to remember here is our inner critic isn't going away. It's a part of our brain. And it's a natural part that's trying to keep us from getting hurt. So this is a lifelong practice. But the more you practice having faith in yourself, the more you back up your own faith. Hey, yesterday you told me I couldn't do that thing, but I told you to try to take a seat on the sidelines, and I did the thing anyways, and I actually succeeded, or I have succeeded, but I still somewhat succeeded, and things were fine. And if I do fail, then I'm going to learn from those failures. So as we engage in this practice over time, we become more and more skilled at living within a place of faith in ourselves and not operating from a place of fear. Recognizing those fears, looking at whether or not they're valid, but in the end, taking a step forward from a place of faith in ourselves. So I hope that this was helpful to at least one person. I hope that all of you are doing well and keeping your heads above water. And feel free to comment, but please do so with critical thinking and kindness, because we don't need any more reactionary language or negativity in our lives. If you would like to learn more about goldfish coaching, or you want to reach out to me directly, you can do so via my website, which I will provide the link for at the end of this video. I hope you all do well going forward, and I will see you soon.